How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sami Baya. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. How narcissists treat their new supply. That's the title of this video. We know that narcissists have specific behaviors and patterns when interacting with new supply or new people who become sources of the admiration, validation, and attention. Remember, the narcissist needs constant attention, constant validation, constant admiration, recognition, acknowledgement, praise from their victims. So that's what they expect to get from their new supply. Now, a narcissist who is a master manipulator, selfish, self-centered, self-absorbed, egocentric, egotistic individual. They lack empathy. They use, then discard others. Their main mission is to hurt you, to punish you, to manipulate you, to destroy you, to make you cry. They believe they are more special, more important than you. Now, how do narcissists treat their new supply? Let's start with the idealization phase. Now, they will use the over-the-top flattery. The narcissist may excessively compliment the new supply. For example, they might say, "You're the most amazing person I've ever met." Then there's the rapid infatuation. The narcissists often express intense feelings quickly, such as declaring, "I've never felt this way about anyone before." Then there's the constant attention. The narcissist will shower the new supply with attention, constantly texting them or calling them. Then the narcissist will also treat the new supply by giving excessive gifts. They will lavish expensive gifts and surprises to create a sense of specialness. Then there's the overcommitment. The narcissist will treat the new supply by making grand plans for the future, even early on in the relationship. Then they will use mirroring. The narcissist mimics the new supply's interests and preferences, appearing as if they have so much in common. Then there's the idealizing physical appearance. The narcissist will frequently comment on how attractive or perfect the new supply looks. Then there's the love bombing. The narcissist will shower the new supply with affection and attention to create a strong emotional bond. Then the narcissist will also use public praise. They'll praise the new supply in public to show them off and to gain admiration from others. Then they will create dependency also. They'll make the new supply feel like they're the only person who truly understands and cares for the narcissist. Then the other part is the testing boundaries. The narcissist will begin testing their new supply. They'll use subtle manipulations. They'll test how much they can push the new supply's boundaries, like making unreasonable requests. They'll also gaslight the new supply. They'll make the new supply doubt their own perceptions, such as denying they said something they clearly said. They'll use isolation tactics. They'll try to separate the new supply from their friends and family by making them seem less supportive or understanding. They'll also push for secrets. They'll ask the new supply to share personal information and secrets to create a sense of exclusivity. The narcissist will test loyalty with the new supply. They'll create situations where the new supply has to choose between them and others to test their loyalty. Then they'll also be inconsistent. They'll exhibit inconsistent behavior to see how the new supply reacts and adapts. Then they will use slight criticisms. They'll offer mild criticisms disguised as advice to gauge the new supply's reaction. They'll also demand attention. They'll make the new supply feel guilty for not providing enough attention or affection. The narcissist will also control social interactions. They'll express jealousy or discomfort when the new supply interacts with others. They'll also set up situations. They'll create scenarios to see how the new supply handles conflict or stress. Then they'll also develop control. They'll establish dependency when they're treating the new supply. They'll make the new supply feel emotionally or financially dependent on them. Then the narcissist will enforce rules. They'll set arbitrary rules for the new supply to follow to test compliance. There'll be a lot of frequent testing. Regularly, the narcissist will test the new supply's commitment through challenging situations. They'll undermine the new supply's confidence. They'll make the new supply question their own abilities or worth. They'll isolate them from support. They'll attempt to sever connection with the new supply support network. They will also use emotional blackmail. They will use guilt or fear to manipulate the new supply into compliance. The narcissist will also play mind games with the new supply. They'll engage in manipulative tactics to confuse or control the new supply's thoughts. They'll pretend to be emotionally needy or weak to get sympathy and support. They'll also create doubt. They'll suggest that the new supply's friends or family are jealous or disapproving. They'll also exaggerate victimhood. They'll claim to be a victim of circumstances to elicit sympathy and control. They'll also establish dominance. They'll demand adoration. They'll expect constant praise and admiration from the new supply. They'll also display aggression. They'll use passive-aggressive or overt aggressive behavior to assert dominance. They'll impose their opinions. They'll insist that their views and opinions are the only correct ones. They'll ignore boundaries. They'll disregard personal boundaries and privacy for the new supply. The narcissists will micromanage the new supply. They'll control small aspects of the new supply's life or decisions. They'll exploit vulnerabilities. They'll use the new supply's insecurities or weaknesses to manipulate them. They'll make decisions unilaterally. They'll make significant decisions without consulting the new supply. They'll blame the new supply. They'll hold the new supply responsible for any problems or issues in the relationship. They'll also create dependency. They'll encourage reliance on them for emotional or financial support. The narcissist will also use public humiliation. They'll occasionally belittle or embarrass the new supply in public to assert control. Then there'll be shifting dynamics, whereby the narcissist will gradually shift from admiration to criticism and evaluation on the new supply. They'll start creating competition. They'll introduce or emphasize other people to create jealousy and insecurity. The narcissist will start withholding affection when dealing with the new supply. They'll use affection as a tool to control and manipulate the new supply. They will change the narrative. They'll rewrite the story or past events to fit their current needs or control the new supply. They'll also act indifferent or aloof to make the new supply seek the approval more desperately. They'll also blame the new supply for everything. They'll hold the new supply responsible for any issue or conflict in the relationship. They'll show a lack of empathy towards the new supply's emotions and needs. They will interrupt and talk over the new supply. They'll dominate conversations to assert control and dismiss the new supply's opinions. They will create doubt. They'll suggest that the new supply's thoughts or feelings are wrong or unreasonable. They'll use conditional love. They'll show love and support only when the new supply meets certain conditions or expectations. Then there'll also be emotional manipulation, where the narcissist will play the victim. They'll constantly portray themselves as the victim to elicit sympathy and support. They'll also use guilt trips. They'll manipulate the new supply with guilt to get them to comply with their demands. They will be inconsistent in their responses, being unpredictably responsive to the new supply, to the new supply's needs to keep them off balance. That's what the narcissist will do. They'll also feign illness. They'll pretend to be sick or in distress to get sympathy and attention. They'll also make empty promises. They'll promise things they have no intention of delivering to keep the new supply hopeful. They'll dismiss achievements. They'll downplay or ignore the new supply's accomplishments to maintain control. They'll also contradict past statements. They'll frequently contradict themselves to confuse the new supply. They'll also use emotional withdrawal. Withdrawing emotionally will make the new supply chase their affection. They'll also create dependency on their approval. They'll make the new supply feel their worth is dependent on the narcissist's approval. They'll use the silent treatment. They will withhold communication as a form of punishment or control. They'll also use psychological tactics such as triangulation. They'll introduce other people into the dynamic to create jealousy or insecurity. They'll play favorites. They'll favor certain aspects or people to create competition and insecurity. They'll create crisis. They'll fabricate or exaggerate crisis to shift focus and manipulate the new supply. They'll alter or distort past events to suit their narrative. They will create unnecessary drama to keep the new supply engaged and dependent. The narcissist will also push buttons. They'll deliberately provoke the new supply to elicit emotional reactions. The narcissist will feign incompetence. They'll pretend to be incapable or inept to get the new supply to take on more responsibilities. They will also gaslight and blame the new supply. They'll make the new supply doubt their perceptions while blaming them for issues. They'll also use control through fear. They'll use threats or fear to control the new supply's behavior or decisions. They'll also create emotional chaos, causing emotional turmoil to destabilize the new supply and to assert control. Now, the narcissist will treat the new supply by maintaining control. How? Through constant surveillance. They'll monitor the new supply's activities, social interactions, or communications. They'll impose their values. They'll insist that their values and beliefs are superior and should be adopted by the new supply. They'll also discredit others. They'll speak negatively about the new supply's friends or family to isolate them. They will also exert financial control. They'll take charge of or influence financial decisions and resources. The narcissists will undermine the new supply's efforts to be independent or self-sufficient. The narcissist will also use the new supply's secrets. They will leverage personal information or secrets for manipulation or control. The narcissist will also overstep boundaries. They'll continuously overstep personal boundaries to test limits. They'll also create dependency on their approval. They'll make the new supply feel their self-worth is tied to the narcissist's approval. They'll instill self-doubt. They'll make the new supply question their own abilities or perceptions. They'll create emotional roller coasters. They'll keep the new supply on an emotional roller coaster to maintain control. The narcissist will also exploit the relationship for status. They'll use the new supply to boost their own social status or image. They will take advantage of the new supply's emotional investment to get what they want. They will also use the new supply in public settings to showcase a false image of a perfect relationship. The narcissist will use guilt to manipulate the new supply. They'll employ guilt to manipulate the new supply into complying with their demands. They'll make the new supply feel their validation is necessary for their self-worth. They'll use the new supply's vulnerabilities or weaknesses for personal gain. The narcissist will ignore or dismiss the new supply's emotional or physical needs. They'll initiate conflicts or arguments to destabilize and control the new supply. They'll use psychological games and manipulations to confuse and control the new supply. They'll turn others against the new supply. They'll use manipulative tactics to make others view the new supply negatively. They'll ensure continued dominance. They'll encourage self-sacrifice. They'll make the new supply sacrifice their own needs or desires for the narcissist's benefit. They'll make them feel unworthy. They'll gradually undermine the new supply's self-esteem to maintain control. They'll overemphasize their importance. They'll make the new supply feel they are essential to the narcissist's happiness and success. They will pretend to be deeply involved or invested in the new supply's life to create a false sense of intimacy. They'll use fear as a tool. They'll create or exploit fears to manipulate the new supply's behavior. They'll make the new supply feel they must act quickly to please or keep the distance, or please the narcissist. They will try to control information. The narcissist will control information that the new supply receives to shape their perception. The narcissist will exaggerate their impact. They'll make the new supply feel their actions or decisions have more significant consequences than they do. Again, the narcissist will also utilize charm. They'll use charm and charisma to maintain a positive image and keep the new supply hooked. They'll also constantly reassure the new supply. They'll provide intermittent reassurance to keep the new supply emotionally dependent on them. Now, these behaviors are common in narcissistic dynamics, and they reflect a pattern of manipulation, control, and exploitation that narcissists use to secure and maintain their new supply. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe if you've not done so.